Hello everyone. Today we are going to make this beautiful dashboard in Power BI and the dataset we are going to use is of healthcare sector. I have provided the link to the dataset in the description along with all these icons. So let's begin. To begin with, we'll go to File and create a new file. Okay, so now that we have opened a new Power BI file, our first step is to extract the data from the Excel sheet to our Power BI file. Basically, there are three main steps to import the data from a data source to Power BI. The first one is extract, the second one is transform, and then load, which is also known as ETL. So for the extract part, we'll go to get data, Excel workbook, and we'll locate our Excel file. So this is our Excel file. Give it a minute. As you can see, we have one sheet in our dataset. A good practice is to transform the data first and then go to load. So we'll transform the data and check if there are any errors in the data. Okay, so we can see that we have all the columns which were present in our Excel sheet. We have them here. Here we have to check for any errors or data type mismatch. For example, patient ID, as you can see here, is its whole number. So we have to check if it is set to whole number or any other data type. To check that, here you can see it is 1, 2, 3. Click on this and you'll see different data types. It is currently set to 1, 2, 3, which is whole number. That means it is correct. As for the gender, it is set to ABC. Now we'll see what is ABC. ABC means text, which is correct. So basically all of these data types are already correct. To check for any errors or missing values, we'll go to view and column quality. We'll check column distribution also. So as you can see that we have no error in our data set. So after confirming all of this, we will go to home. We will select close and apply this drop down and then close and apply. Now you can see that the data is being loaded into our Power BI. So give it a minute. Now we can see that we have successfully imported the data set into Power BI. Now we have to create visuals, and for that we'll go to the reference dashboard again. And the first thing we have to create is this navigation pane or slicer panel. Okay, to create this, we'll go to insert, shapes, and select rectangle. Okay, we resize it accordingly. We will change the color of this rectangle. This is selected. We'll go to style, color, and we'll select this blue one. Okay. The next thing we need to do is set the canvas background color. So to do that, I'll refer to the original dashboard. Let me just check the color of this canvas color and more colors, and I'll copy this hex code. I'll go to my new dashboard. I have this white space selected. I'll go to format, canvas background, color, more colors, and paste that hex here and set the transparency to 0. Okay, so now you can see that we have successfully set the canvas background color. So next we have to add a top bar here, just like in the original dashboard. For that we'll go to shapes, rectangles. We'll resize it accordingly. Okay, and set the color to white and turn the border off. Okay, so next we have to add icon for our dashboard. For that we'll go to insert, image, and we'll select this dashboard icon. We'll resize it and drag it here. We also need to insert a title here. For that we'll go to insert, we'll select text box, and we'll write healthcare analysis dashboard. Select all and resize it to something visible. We'll go to effects and turn the background off. Okay, I'll resize this and drag here. Okay, great. Now, as we can see in our reference dashboard, it is displaying the current date and time. To do this in our dashboard, what we need to do is we need to create a new measure. To create a new measure, go to sheet 1, select sheet 1, right click on it, go to new measure, give it a second. A formula bar will open up. Rename this to something like time underscore now, and the formula would be now, bracket open, bracket close, and hit enter. So what this will do is this will create a measure for displaying the current date and time. As you can see here, we have successfully created a measure, and to display this measure we need a card. So I'll select the canvas, I'll go to visualizations and select this card. So as you can see here, we have successfully added a card. Now we have to add this measure to this card. So go to time now, select this and drag it into the field. So it is displaying the current date and time, but it is not the exact format which is in the reference dashboard. To change this format, select time now, go to table view and change this format accordingly. We'll select this one is okay. So as you can see, the format has been changed. We also have to remove this time now from here. So to remove this, I've selected the card, go to format and turn off this category label. Also go to general, effects and turn off the background. Now reposition it like this. Also decrease the size of this. Okay. So here we go. So it is now displaying the current time and date. So now we are going to create our slicer panel. As you can see here, we'll create this one. So to create this, we'll go to insert image and we'll insert the slicer image, this one. We'll resize this and place it here. We'll go to insert, add a text box and write slicer panel. We'll change the font size and we'll go to effects and turn off the background. We'll change the font color to white and bold. We'll resize this and place it next to our icon. Perfect. We also have a line under the icon and the slicer panel text. So for that, what we need to do is go to insert, go to shapes and select this line. So we have a line. We'll go to style, we'll turn the fill off and change the border color to white. We will accordingly resize the line. Okay, that's okay. So now we have to create different slicers. Just as in the reference dashboard, we'll create a slicer for date, doctor, diagnosis, and test. So to create a slicer, what we need to do is we need to select slicer from the visualization pane. The first slicer was of date, so we'll select admit date from here. As you can see, it is in the form of a range, but we don't need that, so we'll select this. We'll go to date hierarchy, and we only need year and month. Okay. We also need to change the layout of this. So go to format, slices settings, and change the style to drop down. Okay. Resize it accordingly. We also don't need the background, which is white. So we'll go to effects and turn the background off. Okay. Next, we need to change these values to white. So we'll go to values and change the font color to white, and also the slicer header to white. So it's done. So what we need to do is we will now copy this slicer. We don't need to create it from scratch. Copy these. We have 4 slicers. The first one was for date. The second one was for doctor. Third one for diagnosis, and fourth one for test. So for the second one, what we are going to do is we are going to remove this admit date from here, and we'll select doctor. So we have successfully created this doctor slicer. Next one is diagnosis. We'll do the same. We'll select diagnosis from here. We'll put this here. Okay, and the fourth one was test. So we are going to remove this and drag and drop test here. Okay, so we have now successfully created 4 slicers. Now we'll change the title of this slicer to date. To do that, select the slicer, go to format, slicer header, and title text to date. Okay, perfect. Now we have to add a LinkedIn icon here. For that, go to image and select LinkedIn and resize it accordingly. Okay. It's a very good practice to add your social accounts to your dashboard, so that if anyone shares your dashboard with someone, they can go look up your LinkedIn. So to insert your LinkedIn link here, select the icon, turn the action on, and go to type and select web URL, and you can just copy and paste your LinkedIn URL here. Next, we have to create all these visuals in this panel over here. So we'll create the top one first. Go to the dashboard. We'll go to insert shapes, and we'll select this rounded rectangle. Resize this. Okay, that looks good. Go to style and change the color to white and turn the border off. Okay. So now we have total visited patients, total doctors, and total bill amount. So let's first add the icons. We'll add all the icons one by one. The first one was patient. Let me just resize this. The second one was doctor. And the third one was bill amount. So we have to resize them and align them. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so now we have to add total count of patient ID, and then doctors, and then total bill amount. So to add total count of patient ID, we need to select card and drag and drop patient ID. So this is the total count of patient ID. We'll go to category label, turn it off. Go to general effects and turn the background off as we don't need it. Resize this accordingly and place it here. I'm reducing the font size. Okay. So we'll copy the same card for doctors and bill amount. Okay, so now we'll change the field. It was previously patient ID. Now we have to drag and drop doctors. So here we need the sum of doctors working in the hospital. So for that, go to this drop down and select count distinct. So it shows that there are 7 doctors working in the hospital. As for the bill amount, we'll remove this patient ID and add billing amount. So this is already sum of billing amount. So the sum of billing amount is 190 million. Okay, so now we have to add a description for all 3 of these. As in the reference dashboard, we have to add these. So to add these, we'll go to insert text box. And for the first one, we'll write total visited patients. Select all and increase the font size. We'll remove the background and we'll resize this. Move it to here. Also change this. Okay. So for doctors, we'll copy the same. And for bill amount, okay. So we'll change this to total bill amount and this to total doctors. You can align them accordingly. To align them, we'll go to format, align and align top. Similarly, we'll do the same with these ones. Align them top. Wait. Okay, good. Now we'll start creating our graphs. So the first graph we have to create is for the bed occupancy. As you can see here, there is a shape behind this graph. So we'll first add a shape. Go to our dashboard, insert, shapes, and this rectangle. So I'll resize this. We need to change the rounded corners. So go to shape and change it to 12. Okay, perfect. We need to change the color. So go to style, change the color to white and turn the border off. Resize this accordingly and copy the same. We have 4 graphs, so we'll be copy both of these and paste it here. So to get the exact size, let me check what size is this. So the height is 260 and the width is 350. So we'll set the same here. To select all of them, press shift and select all of these. Go to general, properties, the height was 260. Write 260 and the width was 350. So this way all of these have the same height and width. So now we'll add a first graph, which is bed occupancy rate. For that, we'll go to donut chart, place it here resize it a bit, and in the value field drag and drop bed occupancy, and in the legend field the same. So as you can see here, it is representing the bed occupancy rate of the hospital. So we need to change this title. So to change this title, go to format, general, title, text, change it to bed occupancy. We need to center it and increase the font size. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we don't need these percentages. To remove these, we'll go to visual, data labels, label contents, and data value. So it removes the percentages. So now we have to change the colors of the donor chart. For that, we'll go to slices and we can change the colors here. We also don't want the legend title, so we'll remove it by going to legend, title, and change it to off. Okay, perfect. So now we have successfully made a donor chart. The next chart is bar chart. So to add a bar chart, we'll select this clustered bar chart and place it here. And what is this showing? This is showing us diagnosis wise patient count. So to do this, we'll select diagnosis in the y-axis and patient in the x-axis. So as you can see here, now we can see the number of patients uh, as per the diagnosis. So we don't need the axis titles. So we'll remove it by going to format, we'll go to y-axis and turn off the title. We'll go to x-axis and turn the title off. We also don't need these grid lines and this axis. So we'll turn off the x-axis. So that's it. Now we have to change the title of the chart. For that, go to general, go to title and change it. Diagnosis wise patient count. Align it to center. Now we need to change the color of these bars. So for that, we'll go to visual, bars, and we can manually change these colors and also apply a formula. Formula would be better because these are 6 of them, so we don't want to change them one by one. So to do that, we'll go to gradient, and what field should we base this on? This is count of diagnosis. Okay, the lowest value would have something like this, the highest value would have a dark blue. So click on OK. So as you can see, the colors have changed, but we have a legend for this. We want to remove this legend. So just go to legend and turn it off. Okay, so now we are done with this graph. Now we also want the data labels to be visible right after these bars. So to do that, we'll go to data labels and turn them on. So now you can see that we have the data labels, but the first data label is visible inside the bar. We want it outside the bar. So for that, what we need to do is we'll open this drop down, go to options, position, open this drop down and select outside end. So now you can see that every data label is present on the outside. So we are done with this chart. We'll move on to the next chart, which is tests performed. So for tests performed, this is the same bar chart. So we can just copy and paste it over here, resize it accordingly, and we'll go to data. We'll remove X and Y axis from here. We'll add test to the y-axis and test to the x-axis. So this graph is now showing us the number of tests conducted. So now we need to change the title of this chart. We'll go to Format, General, Title, and change this Test Performed. Okay, it is already aligned center, so this is good to go. Also, we need to remove the background of all these graphs. So for that, we will go to Effects and turn the background off. We'll do the same for these one too. Turn the background off and turn it off. So perfect. So for the fourth chart, we have frequency of patients by month. We have dates on the x-axis and patient count on the y-axis. So this is a column chart. We'll go to a dashboard and go to visuals. We'll add a column chart, clustered column chart. We'll place it here. Okay, as we saw earlier, we have to add dates in the x-axis. So we'll add admit date to the x-axis, and we only need the months. And on the y-axis, we'll have patient ID so that it represents the number of patients in a particular month. So now we'll remove the axis titles. We don't need them. Go to Format, select x-axis, turn off the title. Go to y-axis, turn off the title. We also don't want the data labels for the axis. So now we also don't want these data labels visible on the y-axis. So what we can do is we can turn the y-axis off. We don't need it. Now we'll change the title of the chart, which is frequency of patients by month. We'll go to General, Title, and frequency of patients by month. Now we need to change the color of these bars and also turn the text of x-axis to vertical. So for that, what we'll do is we'll go to Visual, Columns, and just like we did with other charts, we'll apply a gradient to this. We can select patient ID. Okay, that's good. Also, we need to remove this legend. So go to legend and turn it off. Now to change the text to vertical, we'll go to columns, go to spacing, and change the minimum category width to 25 and drag it. It's perfect. Now we need to add data labels to these. So for that, we'll go to data labels and turn them on. And we have our data labels here. So now we are done with all our charts and we need to add two cards for female and male. For that, we'll again insert a rectangle, or you can just copy this one. Let me just copy. And we will resize this. Let me check the exact dimensions. It's 260 by 260. So we'll go to shape, properties, 260 by 260. Perfect. This one would be for female and one would be for male. Okay, so the female one is of pink color and the male one is of blue color. So to get the exact color, I'll go to the reference dashboard and see what color is this. Go to style and we'll copy this pink color from here. Go to our original dashboard, go to style, color, more colors, and paste it here. So we have the exact same color. We'll do the same for male. Go to more colors, copy this color, and go to style, color, more colors, and paste it here. So now we have to add icons for female and male. For that, we'll go to insert, image, and we'll add both of these one by one. So this one, we'll resize it, and this goes here. We'll again go to the image and insert this one. So this one, it would go here. Okay, great. We'll do the same for the male one. We'll select this one. This one goes here, and this one goes here. Okay, perfect. Now we need to show the total number of female patients and male patients. For that, we'll select a card. We'll drag and drop gender into the field. And this one is showing first gender. We need to change it to count. Sorry, this one. But this is the total count of male and female. We only need for the female. So we'll open the filter. We'll open this drop down. We'll again place this gender over here, and we'll select female from here. So now it is only showing for females. The same way we'll copy and paste it for male. We'll open the filters, go to the filter and check the male one. So now we have two cards, one for female and one for male. We'll change the format of these accordingly. We'll remove the background. Go to effects, remove the background. We'll do the same for this one. We need to remove this description. So we'll uncheck or turn off this category label, and for this one too. We need to change the font color to white. So we'll go to effects. No, sorry. We'll go to category callout value, and then we'll select white. Okay. Okay, so now we need to add a text box for female and male. So to do that, we'll go to insert, text box. We'll write female. Wait. Female. Increase the font size to 24. Turn it to bold and change the font color to white. Okay. After that, we'll have to remove the background. Increase it more. Okay, perfect. Resize it accordingly and place it here. We'll do the same for male. You can just copy and paste the same text box. Copy paste it, and okay, so now we need to add commas in between these values. To do that, we'll select this, go to format, callout value, and we'll change the display units to none. So as you can see, there's a comma now in between. We'll do the same for male. Select male and change it to none, and change the value decimal places to 0. Perfect. So now we are pretty much done with the dashboard, but there is still one thing. As you can see, the slicer values are not visible. It's because the background is white. So we need to change this. We'll select the slicer, go to format, we'll go to values, and change the background to the color of this navigation panel. So select this drop down. This is already here. So I have changed it. Now you can see it is visible. It is for all the slices, but we don't want to do it manually for all of them. So what we can do is we can select this slicer, click on format painter, and format this one. Click on this. Now again click format painter, click on this, Now again click Format Painter and click on this one. Again Format Painter and click on this one. So now as you can see, all the slices have been formatted accordingly. So thank you so much for watching this video. This was my first ever video on YouTube. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you.